Welcome. My name is Jonathan Wilson. I'm the founder and the head coach here at the Center for Coaching Leadership. And what we do is we help you take your work groups and convert them into teams. And then we help you coach those teams to remarkable results. Today, we're going to be talking about what is coaching leadership? Like, what do we even mean by that term? All right, so let's break it down. What do we mean by coaching leadership? I want to start with, first off, like, what is coaching? What do we mean by that? Because it's a lot different than sports coaching. It's not therapy. It's its own thing, especially in the professional workplace. Let's see what some others have said. What is coaching leadership? Ready? Here's John Whitmore, who is a long time in the field of coaching, unlocking people's potential to maximize their own performance. You're going to see maximize come up in all of these examples here. So, potential to maximize their performance. Here's one from the the International Coach Federation, which I'm a member of, the ICF. Okay, partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process, maximize their personal and professional potential. Okay, just one more here. Center for Creative Leadership. I haven't worked with them, but I like their definition here. Unlocking a person's potential to, there it is again, maximize his or her own performance. Okay, so what is this coaching about? Well, listening to these and more, we talk about maximization. And while I agree with that, we have a slightly different take here at the Center for Coaching Leadership. I wanted to make it just as simple as possible. Yet maximization, what does that even mean? I'm not sure. Where we're going with it is really that coaching at its best is a collaborative process of problem solving. In the professional work environment where you got a team leader and team member. What are we going to do? We're going to collaborate, a certain way of collaborating, of working together with the team members in a process that implies time. Coaching takes time, right? If we could do it in a day, I mean, that would be quite something. But this is a process that's unfolded, right? It's going to take a little bit of time. To do what? To solve problems. What kind of problems? Good question, right? All sorts of problems. We'll talk about that here in just a second. So when we're talking about coaching leadership in the professional organization, we're talking about creating a collaborative process of problem solving. That's what we mean by that. That's what we mean by coaching. And coaching leadership, we're talking about coaching leadership, we're talking about a leadership style. A leadership style is your approach to doing the leadership thing. It's other people's experience of you as a leader. It's how you come across to them. Okay, and there's a number of styles here. So this is going to be how we lead. And at the base of all of that, at the very lowest level, when we look at a leadership style, remember it's people's experience of us as leaders. What they are experiencing is our words, our energy, and our body language, and other things too, but at its very fundamental, they're experiencing those things. And so what we're trying to do when we lead is work with these base level items and more to inspire action. Okay, actually, let's take a look at that part right now. Okay, because there is some confusion around leadership and management. And we're talking about a leadership style, okay, not a management style. It's a little different thing. So the leadership style, this is going to be behavior. That's the key. It's not like the intention. It's going to be the behavior that inspires action. Keyword right there, a behavior that is going to inspire action. And if we juxtapose that with management, okay, also behavior, right? But really it's about compelling action. Very key difference. You know, the question is for all the leaders out there, folks just like you, is if they weren't being paid, would they still choose to follow what you're doing? I don't know. I mean, maybe. Oftentimes we mistake people doing kind of what we're asking them to do because we're compelling that action instead of inspiring the action. This lower level of engagement, this is a higher level of engagement, especially when we're talking about change. A big change that is scary for us, for leaders too, right? Scary. We want something that inspires action, not merely compels action. So if we were to go to take a look at some common leadership styles, now we're talking about behavior that inspires action. If we are going to look at some styles, you know, if you go back to Daniel Goleman's article in Harvard Business Review 20-something years ago, where this leadership style idea sort of came from, he had a number of them: pace-setting, authoritative, affiliative, coercive, democratic, as potential ways for us to behave in the workplace that will hopefully inspire that action from our team. You have probably been subjected to some of these. So he's got 6. These are the big 5. You might have even heard of some of these newer ones here, like servant leadership, right? Or visionary leadership. There's, you know, if you look in the literature, there might be, I don't know, 20 different styles, right? That we could come across as. These are just happen to be some of the big ones. I would argue, though, I might argue that some of these leadership styles are actually maybe management styles, right? We're talking about compelling action, right? This one certainly is coercive. This is do what I tell you to do. Not as inspiring maybe as it used to be. Pace setting, where we're working at a very high clip and the expectation is I work a lot, so shall you. Might also be a little bit problematic. Some of these may be truly leadership styles where they're inspiring action. Probably the biggest leadership style, though, that inspires action is that coaching leadership style, also identified in that article from 25 years ago. Probably not as widely embraced as some of the other styles. So in this coaching leadership style, what are we asking you to do? Well, we're asking you to focus more of your time on the team. I heard a comment last week in a conference that I was attending that, you know, if we spend all of our time on working with our team, we won't have any time to do our actual work. And I was thinking, well, actually that is your work, is working on the team. That's what your role is, a big part of the role at least, is working with that team. And what are we working with them on? The problems of the moment? Yes, and some other things. I call them the 3 C's, okay? 3 C's, like the letter C. And those 3 C's are capability, confidence, and capacity. Work with so many people. You know what the problem is? It's not like their capability, right, that they're unable to do the work that's in front of them. Not necessarily. It's this guy right here. Confidence. That's one of the biggies for new people, yep, and for seasoned people alike. Confidence is really a sticking point for a number of people. And what I've seen is that when our confidence lags, we don't develop more capability to do harder and harder things. And because we don't develop more capability, it's hard for us to improve our capacity. So when I'm coaching with people, one of the things I'm evaluating early on is this confidence piece. Not arrogance, not arrogance. Now we're talking about confidence, which is the ability to put forth ideas, to challenge what the normal processes are, right? To feel comfortable speaking up when you have an idea to share, right? The ability to try things, maybe fail, experimenting. These all stem from confidence. So we're focusing more of the time on the team. We're building up the 3 C's. Likely confidence is going to be one of the few that we're really working on, so that we can improve capability and then ultimately capacity. That's doing more with the people we already have. If you want to do more with the people you already have, how do you do that? I mean, what do? You can't just, hope that they're going to improve, right? Or just suddenly magically work more hours. That's probably not going to happen. We've got to improve their capability. And then if we do that, okay, say we're making this investment, hopefully what that does for us is create margin and expertise so that we can tackle bigger and bigger problems. Ooh, this is a big deal right now. So many of us are busy. We're doing things. That's not the problem. The busyness isn't the problem. The key question, though, is are we working on the big stuff? Or are we working on this? Are we majoring in the minors? Or are we working on those truly big problems that are going to really move this organization to the next level? There's only one way to really get there, in my estimation. That's why the Center Coaching Leadership exists, right? Is to help turn leaders into effective coaches. So, how do we define coaching leadership as a style? Here's what I would tell you. That it's an active and intentional process, okay? Developing a team that helps the organization achieve its biggest goals. That's what we're talking about here. So there's a bunch of keywords in here. Team is one of them. And then we're back here to biggest goals. So active and intentional means it gets your time, your attention, and your emotional energy. Not when it's necessarily the most convenient, but it's something that we actively do on a regular basis. Active and intentional. It's a process. There's process again, which means it might be months of working on things before we see those improvements. Team, not a work group, team. And there's a difference. If you come join us at the one-day training, we go over that. What's the difference between a work group and a team? How do we transform them from a work group to a team? That's one of the keys. And then we're talking about biggest goals. Biggest goals. Now here's the rub. Here's the bad news, maybe. Coaching is not easy and it's not fast. What? Well, why do it? Let's just give up, right? We'll just go back to telling everyone what to do. Well, if that worked, I would encourage you to do it. That's the problem, it's just not working anymore, especially for our younger generations coming into the office, not, Generation X like me. So it's not easy, it's not fast. It doesn't mean we run away from it, right? But we look beyond the hack and the tip and the trick and all that other stuff. And what we find is by investing in it and doing this well, we get a higher ROI. For what? Like our money? No, not our money, but something that may be more important, which is our time. So when we're putting out the expenditure of time, energy, and emotional energy, right? We're putting out that sort of that outlay. We want to get a return for that over time. And the return goes back to the 3 C's, right? The return goes back to these. Confidence, capability, and capacity. This is going to be the ROI that we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Next, last perhaps. Here's why we're talking about coaching leadership versus other styles to focus in on. Right now, I wonder if for you it feels like here you are, you're the one person in the middle there, you're the leader, right? Nice, got the title, got the responsibility. And here's our 5 team members, our beautiful team members right here. And we've got the boss, and we got other departments and vendors and shareholders and customers, and there's more, right? I just picked a few for illustration. And they're all vying for your time. And so you're trying to spread yourself out and do all this stuff. And what happens is your team becomes another thing for you to deal with. Right? And then what happens is as we're spending our time on all this stuff, what gets left out? Our little goals here. Little goals left out of our time. And how do we know that this is true? It's January. Comes to January again. And we go back and we find that sheet of paper in the drawer, right? It's got our goals on it. We pick it up and we're like, right? Try to blow the dust off it. And we go, oh yeah, I remember that. We were going to do better at this. We were going to try that. We were going to experiment with this. None of it got done, unfortunately. And it's not because you weren't busy. It's not like you're lazy or anything. Far from it. You're super busy. But the problem is we didn't leverage these people to help us with all this other stuff. Right? It was like us or bust. And I want to offer you a different sort of model. And when you join us in the leadership program, in the coaching workshop, we show you how to do this, right? I mean, I'm giving you the what here, and the how comes in the workshop. So come and join us at the workshop. Here's what it looks like. All right, you're here, you're the leader. There you go, it's just one of you. And now we've elevated up our team members. Right now they're up here. Here's our 5 team members. We've elevated up our goals, which are right here, and we're going to work on them together. And that's where most of our focus goes. Team goals, team goals, team. That's where we spend our time. That is the work. That is the work. That is what we're doing. And when we do that, right, then all of these other things that we got to do, now it's no longer just us. We've got all this help down here. Isn't that cool? Now it's not just we got to deal with everything. We got to be at the center. We got to go run ourselves crazy. Now we can actually leverage the people that we have in a proper way over time to increase our capability and our capacity. We can do more with the people we have. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Now, it doesn't mean I'll end with this. It doesn't mean when the boss comes, we just, shuttle them off to that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is sharing the load, really activating the team so we can build our capability and ultimately our capacity to do ever more bigger things. Not just anything, but bigger things. So there you go. Coaching leadership. What it is, why you should consider it, and if this is something that is interesting to you, come join us at the one-day coaching leader workshop where I show you how to do this, how to actually get this stuff done. I look forward to seeing you there.